忍びの時代は終わる。
螺旋が
Himawari has super regeneration power when she is in Kurama mode, and it can be used to heal inojin. As I predicted last week, that has now been proven. Inojin was revived by Himawari with the super regeneration power of Kurama mode. The body that had previously been destroyed by being stabbed by the mokuton Jura jutsu has now closed again. What a shocking fact. Little Kurama said that Himawari had great potential, but it wasn't time for her to defeat Jura because of the huge power difference between them. After suffering a severe injury due to being hit by Himawari Sarada, Hidari recovered, and now Hidari will fight against Konohamaru. And that's some spoilers that I think are the most curious part of Chapter 11. So how? Has this answered your curiosity? Ladies and gentlemen, here are the full spoilers. Boruto, Chapter 11. Hidari became the cover of Chapter 11. There is a message on the cover, but because of the Japanese language, I can't translate it well. Then, the story begins with Himawari, who has changed to Kurama mode and destroys the tree that binds her body. Jura then sees Himawari, assuming that he thinks this is the result of the 9-tail chakra. Shikadai sees Himawari shocked because, as he remembers, Himawari's leg has been broken by attacking Jura, but why now Himawari can walk normally and it looks completely recovered? Himawari then walked over to Inojin, who had been impaled by a tree from the mokuton Jura jutsu, and released him. Instantly, Himawari, with her hair, immediately treated and saw that Inojin's body, which had previously been destroyed, had now recovered to its original state. Shikadai, seeing Inojin's body closed again, looked so shocked, but Himawari said that she did not know if it really healed him, and Himawari told them to take Inojin to the hospital. Shikadai was still curious about what he saw, what power was it, but Himawari stated that she wasn't too sure of herself, but that's why she was trying to confirm. But Himawari seemed to understand that Jura already understood. Chocho still didn't understand what Himawari meant about what Himawari was trying to confirm. Then Himawari explained that I want to kill him, and that's all I can do. And if I can't do that, then Jura will beat us all. Then Himawari asked Chocho and the others to run away from this place immediately, because Jura only targets me. Shikadai then picked up the unconscious Inojin and took him away immediately. But it seems that Chocho cannot leave Himawari alone to fight Jura. But Shikadai reiterated that this is a fight that we cannot do. We better save ourselves, and that's what Himawari said. Jura heard Shikadai's decision, saying that it was a good decision. I have recorded your name in memory, let's meet again. Chochiko still can't seem to accept the decision, but Himawari said that if I have the power, I will take responsibility, and that's what I should do, and that's what my father and brother did. Then Chocho finally understood what Himawari said, and before leaving Himawari, Chocho reminded her not to forget her promise to give her pancakes. And we see Shikadai carrying Inojin to take him to the hospital. Shikadai yells at Chochiko to leave immediately, and after that, Himawari will fight one by one with Jura. Jura, who saw Himawari's transformation, said, I understand that you're not mere simpletons. That's why it's so baffling to me how frequently your ability to make decisions is impaired. Then, Himawari then walked slowly and approached Jura. But Jura explained that Inojin had ignored my orders several times and acted recklessly, resulting in his destruction. It was completely unacceptable. But after that, something inside your body seemed to light up. Is this a coincidence, or is there a connection? But Himawari did not answer any of Jura's questions. While punching Jura, Himawari told him to shut up, and Himawari's punch was so powerful that it caused Jura to bounce off and caused a big crack in the ground. Then suddenly we see Jura jump from the dust, where Jura bounced and jumped straight into the air and fly towards Himawari. Himawari stands ready, and we see Himawari's hair like a 9-tail that will release Biju Dama. And sure enough, Himawari then creates Biju Dama from her hair and shoots straight at Jura. But Jura, with his eyes, creates Biju Dama and prepares to shoot it at Himawari. Damn, this is so cool. Himawari then shoots a Biju Dama at Jura and causes a huge crack under her feet. And we see the two Biju Dama about to collide, and a huge explosion occurs in the air due to the collision between the two Biju Dama. Shikadai and the others are suddenly surprised and look back to see a huge explosion in the air. And we see Jura then land and stand in front of Himawari while saying, "Isn't this a surprise?" Jura is so surprised by the evolution that is so fast that Himawari can use the Bijudama. But besides that, suddenly Jura doesn't continue his words, and quickly Jura then attacks Himawari until Himawari bounces far enough. But Jura's speed is so great. Jura then moves behind Himawari's body and attacks her until Himawari bleeds from her mouth. Jura's attack is so big and causes a terrible crack in the ground. This is a first for me. You've given me a little freedom, and now I want to try to be more serious in this fight. And that's what Jura said to Himawari, who suffered a wound so big that Himawari was bleeding from her mouth. Then the scene returns to show Hidari, who has just been defeated by Sarada. While looking at Hidari, who is in pain, Sarada tries to ask Hidari, "Who are you really? And why can you use chidori?" But Hidari does not answer, and his body is seen entering into the claw marks on his legs. But Hidari, who previously tried to enter the claw marks, suddenly came back out and was seen suddenly the wound in his stomach recovered. Seeing the wound recover so quickly, Junin Konoha, Sarada, and Sumire look quite surprised to see it. Then Hidari, who had previously seen Sarada's Sharingan eyes, tried to ask, "I heard from Jura, is that the Sharingan?" With a confused look, Sarada didn't seem to understand who Jura was. Then Hidari seemed to try to convince what he knew, that the skill I just used was chidori, but I think it looks so difficult to use properly. I think I need eyes like you, Sarada. No. Please don't tell me that Hidari wants to take Sarada's eyes. Then Sarada still did not understand who this man was. Then Konohamaru seemed to be quite annoyed with Hidari, who did not answer Sarada's question. And Konohamaru tried again to confirm with Hidari what his relationship with Sasuke was. But this time Hidari answered that he didn't know who Sasuke was. He didn't know anything about him. Hidari was quite annoyed with all the questions. Hidari then stood up with a very scary look saying, "You want to know who I really am?" The same, I'm also looking for that answer. And this is why I came to Konoha. And hearing that, suddenly they all became surprised by what Hidari said. But suddenly Sumire shouted to Konohamaru and asked him to protect Sarada. Hidari targeted Sarada and it was unmistakable. And suddenly a chidori appeared from the claw marks on the back of Sarada's body. Sarada, who was hit by the chidori, immediately screamed in pain and made Konohamaru anxious. And the Konoha Junin tried to attack Hidari, but Hidari immediately released a fire jutsu and burned the Junin. Rest in peace, uncle. Then Konohamaru tried to attack Hidari with Rasengan from behind Hidari's body. But unfortunately, Konohamaru could not touch Hidari's body and instead went through his body. And when Konohamaru was in front of Hidari, he immediately attacked him with chidori. And with quick reflexes, Konohamaru turned around and there was a formation between chidori and Rasengan. As a result, Konohamaru could not hold it and his body bounced until it hit a wall. Sumire, who tried to help Sarada, was suddenly attacked by Hidari from behind with chidori and immediately fell and became unconscious. For this scene, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarada, who was so weak, felt that her body could not move, and now Hidari was now standing right in front of Sarada. We then move on where Himawari is helplessly attacked brutally by Jura. Himawari's face is hit so hard that it bounces. But suddenly Jura pulls out a jutsu from his eyes, and at this moment is Jura using Shinra Tensei Jutsu or something like that, guys, because all of a sudden Himawari seemed to be pulled by her body and got a pretty serious wound on her stomach. And finally Himawari seemed to lose. She fell down and was in pain. A few seconds later, the wound on Himawari's stomach recovered by itself, but Himawari couldn't stand back up yet. She was still in pain. But seeing Himawari's quick recovery, Jura had already guessed that her recovery ability was astounding, and it was more than ordinary humans or Jinchuriki. And this situation was like us Biju. Jura seemed to know, however, that no matter how much Himawari healed her wounds, Himawari could not avoid losing chakra to her body. Then we see Kurama, who realizes that this Jura is a monster more than he thought. And this is not a situation that can be resolved just because Himawari has high potential. Kurama realizes that Jura is quite a different opponent. On the other side, we see Kawaki and Delta flying off to go somewhere. Hey Kawaki, don't be mad at me, but we're gonna fight the opponent you just defeated. What's your plan, Kawaki? but Kawaki says that he'll do whatever he can do. And suddenly, Kawaki is surprised to see Boruto already flying in front of him. And it turns out that Boruto went towards Himawari and saved his little sister, while Kawaki instead went towards Sarada. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is the difference between fake and real, brother guys. Damn Kawaki. Finally, Boruto managed to take Himawari away and save her. Thanks, Boruto. Then on the other side, Hidari took out a tree root from his hand while saying that, "What am I? I don't know. But there is one thing that is a reason. I have known you since the beginning. I will ask you the same question. Who are you? And if I look at you now, maybe I can get what I want." And instantly, Sarada's body was now bound by a tree from Hidari's hand. Then it turned out that there were Boruto frog that was on top of a pole. The frog was watching Hidari, who was going to catch Sarada, and it turned out to be Guys. Another frog that was in Boruto's robe gave information that the frog had confirmed the existence of Sarada. The frog stated that a symbol was a triangle, and immediately Boruto, while flying and holding Himawari's body, his right hand formed a hand sign. Boruto immediately used a jutsu Flying Thunder God technique. And instantly, Boruto was directly where Sarada and Hidari were. Boruto, who saw Hidari was going to catch Sarada, immediately pulled out a sword and immediately cut off Hidari's hand. Damn. How cool are you, Boruto? Hidari was so surprised to see Boruto, and we saw an epic scene where Boruto managed to save his little sister and Sarada at the same time, while that stupid Kawaki had no idea what he was going to do. The last scene of chapter 11, Jura, who saw Boruto manage to take Himawari away so quickly, was quite surprised. And Hidari, who saw Boruto, said, "Huh, Otsutsuki Boruto." And that's the complete spoiler of the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga, chapter 11. Thank you, Salad Sand Bolts, for translating it, but this is not the original translation of the manga plus, guys, and I will update again after the official episode appears in the evening. I'm Naime. Thanks to all of you who have liked and subscribed. See you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.